McCarthy Auto Group is one of the largest auto groups in Kansas City, let alone the Midwest, and operates a total of 10 dealerships throughout the region. Whether you're looking for a quality used car in Blue Springs, Missouri, or a new car dealer in Overland Park, Kansas, McCarthy helps you cross each T and dot each I, and our commitment goes beyond the dealership. We continue to impact the lives of young student athletes in our area to propel them into their futures, and we are proud to partner with PrepsKC and present the McCarthy Elite Team.
Are you elite? When the game is on the line, you make that big tackle, break the long run, throw that block, make that kick. Are you the best of the best in KC? Well, starting this season, a new standard will be set. The most exclusive postseason honor in Kansas City high school football. The PrepsKC McCarthy Elite Team. Only 28 players will earn this distinction, from quarterback to kicker, defensive lineman to returner. It's not about the stars next to your name. It's about what you do on the field. Will you become part of the elite? The PrepsKC McCarthy Elite Team.
All right, it's that time. We did last week. We closed out the first segment of the first hour with our McCarthy PrepsKC Elite Team preview, and we did quarterbacks last week with Cole Young, and this week we're going to do defensive linemen with Ryan Wallace. And Ryan, this is a group that I think has become in the Kansas City Metro one of the deepest groups in the last decade. One of the groups that has produced the most NFL players, not just Power 5 or FBS or FCS players, but NFL players that have come out of the Metro. I mean, you start with the twins, the Davis twins, and of course Malik Collins, and who's at San Francisco last night. You caught him on Monday Night Football, getting deep rotation there, and this is a group that every year it seems like we graduate a good group and we're putting more good guys in, and we're only doing 4 this year. There's only 4 on this elite team, and the temptation probably is to say, well, here's 4 guys who each have 20 sacks and just go on with the edge guys. But you gotta know there's some guys out there, and I know there's one at Lawrence Free State that you like, that somebody's got to eat up those blocks so those edge guys can go get it done.
You got to have a nose tackle in there. I mean, let's if we're gonna make a true team, this isn't gonna be one of those NBA All-Star teams that's got 4 guards and a forward. I mean, what do you do when you play Yao Ming? I mean, you got to have somebody down low. So yeah, you got to have a defensive tackle, and like you said, Dion, I think there are a couple good ones in the Metro this year.
Yeah, Hiram Bueno, I think is how you say his name. Lawrence Free State. He's massive. He's a large human being.
So I got a chance to meet Hiram over the winter. Did a campus pit stop there to see Coach Stewart and meet a couple of his guys. And he was one of the 3 from a collegiate recruiting standpoint that Coach had me, meet and chat with a little bit. And he is a legit 6'2". I mean, he's not, the kind of sawed off defensive tackle that you would think of. He's a taller man, but also, the redwood tree trunks for legs. I mean, he's not moving. Really, really powerful kid, and he'll anchor Lawrence Free State's defensive line. And I think he's the type of guy that, you can really bolster a defense around, because as you said, he's the type of guy that even if let's say Lawrence Free State isn't blessed with a natural pass rush, he's the type of guy that's going to eat up a couple different blocks, and it's going to free up somebody to come off the edge, right? So yeah, Hiram's a really, really talented player.
Well, and you see what they did in week 1, an improved Shawnee Mission East team. They win 12-3. And that says something about that defense right there, that they're only giving up 3 points. Another guy that's a Lincoln Stubbe at Blue Valley. He gets overshadowed by the linebackers on that team, but that's a guy that people are talking about as well.
Yeah, you talk to McGuire Richmond, you talk to the guys over at Blue Valley, Dawson Merritt. They'll tell you that hey, we got recruited, but the guy that everybody should be recruiting is over here. Lincoln Stubbe is a guy that I remember talking to John Holmes at Bishop Miege over a year ago, and just kind of asking him his opinion of players that caught his eye that aren't at Miege. And Lincoln Stubbe was a kid that he was talking about as a sophomore. He's got good length. He's got a great motor. I watched him go one-on-one with Andrew Babalola last year, and he gave him fits. So I think, the natural progression as he moves into his senior year on a defense that knows each other so well, I think he has the chance to have just a really fantastic senior season for the Tigers.
Well, when we talk about this elite team, motor is sometimes as much about as it is with talent when you're talking about this, because we want the guys on Friday night that when you go to the opposing coaches, who are they talking about that they've got that's a problem that they got to take care And you talk about a guy like Charlie Wolben from DeSoto. That's another guy there that people are talking about as well.
And he's a versatile piece. He might not have the numbers when it's all said and done at DeSoto because, he's not going to play the position that he'll play at Iowa State, which is more that hybrid pass rusher where, you can stand up and move him around. At DeSoto, there are times where he's going to line up at a 3-tech because that's where they need his length. But that's a kid. Yeah, you talk about motor with Charlie Wolben. He's a kid that is going to continue to come no matter where he is in his alignment. You talk about length. Charlie Wolben's got it in spades, and a very, very sneaky athlete. Very, very sneaky athlete.
Go over to the Missouri side. Stop me if you heard this last name before. Yeye Atabare. There's a third one.
Yeah.
One in the NFL, one in college right now.
Well, and Yeye is a little different than his brother, obviously, that ended up at Northwestern and now playing in the NFL. But I think he may lack some explosion and some height and some of the length that his older brother had, but he might be stronger. He broke the squat record at North Kansas City this year, going into his senior year. So the power is there. He's going to be a kid that, some FCS teams are already looking at, and I think he's got a chance with a strong senior season to really elevate his game. He'll be a mainstay on this list going forward.
Well, and some other guys from smaller schools. There's a Cooper Burnside from Savannah that people are talking about. Cade Carroll from Odessa. Odessa always seems to have it when they're good. They've got a pretty good lineman. Carter Welpe from Lafayette County. That's a team that's always in the mix on the Missouri side. You got Finn Cusick from Bishop Miege. Then a couple Louisburg guys, Conley Hovey and Braden Yoder. So some really good players out there. It's going to be a lot of fun doing this. And we check in with these position groups. The beauty of it is we've got 15 weeks. There's eight different groups, so we'll be able to circle back after we get through the first few weeks and talk about them again. So Ryan, this is really kind of turned into a fun project. We appreciate everything that McCarthy Auto Group's doing to honor these kids, and it's going to be fun putting this team together. Fun and hard putting this team together. I was going
to say an already deep list, Dion, that is only going to get deeper.
No doubt. All right. That's Ryan Wallace from GoPower.com. We will talk to him again later about games in our final segment like we always do.